Hey guys, it's Lindsay from My Crafty Plans, and today I am flipping through my 2018 collections in my bullet journal. So this is all stuff that I set up before the year started. Going forward, if I add any new collections in, I'll just show them in my monthly setup video when I show my monthly setup. But this is the stuff that I set up in advance of the year. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm beyond excited to share this with you. This is the first time I've watercolored in a really long time, and the first time I've ever watercolored in my bullet journal. I tested it on a pen test page. I did think it would be okay. It warped the pages a little bit more than I was expecting. Going forward, if I watercolor again, I would definitely do that on separate paper and then glue it in. But for the cover page, I planned to tape the front two pages together just in case, and I left space for that. So you'll see I do that last on this video. After I watercolor this, I'm going to go ahead and use my Kuretake metallic brush pens to do the lettering and the stars, and then as well a Uniball Signo white to do a little bit of more like star dot accent type things. First up, I actually just decided to do a little quote page, and this is a quote from Harry Potter, obviously. I just thought this, I was just like browsing Pinterest for ideas, and I saw this and tried to sort of copy some writing style that I saw on Pinterest, and then I added in some sort of stars, and then I think at the end of the year, what I'm going to do is at the end of my bullet journal or whenever that is, I'm going to write Mischief Managed on the last page. So it was like a little Marauders map thing. Anyway, I love Harry Potter. Who doesn't? But so that was really fun. And then I set up my index. This is my Zen Art notebook, which was the winner of my Throwdown challenge. If you want to see that video, you can check it out. I'll link it below. But the pages are not numbered, so I do have to number the pages. But a cool thing about that is I actually just started the numbering on the page after my index pages. So all of the stuff in the front isn't actually numbered. Overall, I've been really happy. We're like halfway through January, and overall, I've been really happy with this notebook so far. So the gold is actually a Kuretake metallic brush pen, and I am so obsessed with these pens lately. You probably saw if you watched my January setup video, which will also be linked in the description below. I use those a lot, and I've been using them in my bullet journal just ever since I got them. I'm really obsessed, and they were not expensive. And then the writing is done in a Tombow dual brush pen, which is my favorite brush pen for lettering. So I left 2 pages for my index. I have no idea what I'll need, so I can assess that at the end of this bullet journal. And then the first collection that I set up is actually just a bill tracker. I don't really need to write down like how much bills are. I just want to checklist if I pay them every month or not. I'm usually really good about remembering, but like every once in a while something slips through the cracks, and then I just marked whether something was on auto pay or not. So I like to do bills that are the same every month on auto pay, like the same number, like your mortgage or your car insurance, but bills that change from month to month, like electricity bill, I like to do that, just pay that when I get it so I can see how much it is. Yeah, so as I said, we're like mostly through January, and so a lot of these have been paid, and then I'll keep going. I did this in Crayola Super Tips and then forgot, and this one is actually in a Zebra mild liner. I'm not really sure if I'm going to pick a different color for every month or just keep going with the blue. I haven't really decided, but yeah. Oh, and then down here I just wrote, we have like a couple of bills that are only paid once a year, one in July and one in December. So I just wrote those down as well, so I remembered. And then here I can just write any more notes. Like here I already have a note on something that's up here, and just keep kind of going with that. Okay, so the next page is my financial snapshot. I did already start like filling this out since we are in January, so I just have the top covered with Post-it notes so that you cannot see the numbers inside my bank account. But yeah, so anyway, we're like not at a point in our life where we need like full on budgeting to be happening. We do a really good job with saving money, and we don't really have any debt besides like one car and our house. So, and all the payments and stuff, we live well within our means. So I don't have like a full-on budget, but I do like to keep track of how much money we're saving each month. And that's what this piece is. This I've been doing for years. And I was doing it online, and I still am doing it online as well, but I am transferring it into my bullet journal as well. And then I just write each month, I write what was our income for the month, so like what we made from work, but any other income or presents or anything we got monetarily, what we spent each month, and then our net for each month. So I use mint.com to track my spending. No way am I going through all of the transactions myself. And then Mint just tells me once you have all your stuff hooked up to it, it's super easy. And I can link a link to Mint below as well. So once I have that, then I just can fill out these parts. And then this is new for me this year. I decided that I just wanted to add in get the month-end balances for each of our all of our accounts, so I can keep track of what's happening over the year. And I've never done this before, so I'm going to see how I like it. But one of my goals for this year was to just be a little bit more financially conscious of what we're doing each month. So we have our bank accounts, brokerage accounts, and some retirement stuff over here. And then on the bottom, I just set up some stuff that we would need for the year, can put down any raises or our starting salaries for myself and my husband, and any raises we get. We do each usually get a yearly bonus, which is nice, so I can write down the numbers on that. I will be taking some unpaid leave because I get my maternity leave from work comes in a combination of paid and unpaid leave. It's a really generous amount of leave that I get, but some of it is unpaid, so I just want to mark down how much unpaid leave I end up taking. This will be for our total 2018 savings, and then keeping track of our credit scores on this side. So this next page here, this actually, when I posted this in Instagram the first time, this is my most liked thing on Instagram ever. So maybe there are a lot of co-planners out there. This is where I keep track of my weekly kits for my Erin Godrin life planner. It's a weird thing to have in your bullet journal, but whatever. This helps with my sticker storage management. So whenever I buy a new kit, I put numbers along the side. So this is all stuff that I have, and then I can put the theme, where I bought it from. I color swatch them once I get them in the mail. I do some planning on dates, if something's for a holiday or a birthday or whatever, I can sort of mark that down, and then once I use them, I can do that. And then sometimes I do plan more in advance, but sometimes I don't. So I just left this for 2 pages because I have a feeling I will need it, and then I don't repeat the numbers within the year. And then on the packaging of the sticker kits, I put the number and the season, and then I use that, and then I can just keep them all in a file drawer, and whenever I can go, oh, I need kit 14 or kit 12, and I can just quickly flip through and grab it because they're all numbered. On this page is actually the second half of that sort of strategy section, which is where I do more of the planning on week by week. So I wrote out all the weeks for the year and anything that's special for that week, if there was a holiday or there is going to be a holiday, or any important birthdays, like my birthday, or my husband and my anniversary, etc. Just anything special, so that I can think about what kits might be good. And then I do some planning here, and then if I'm not sure, I'll write it in pencil, and when I am sure, I'll write it down in pen. And then I can keep running list of notes, when I get towards the end of the season, what I want to buy or things I have my eye on, and I can just sort of write that down here. So then on this page, I just had to go a little more decoraty, and I have a spread set up for any house and furniture projects that we're doing. So we have been in our house for about 1.5 years, and we moved into a big house in Texas from a teeny tiny apartment in Boston. So we had no stuff when we got here. Literally we had to buy every single piece of furniture that was in our house. that's currently in our house, and we're not quite finished with that yet. So we don't have any like major construction-y projects, but because our house is like new, we did new construction. We have a lot of stuff we want to do like in the yard and getting that set up, and then as well, I'm gonna put some stuff in here that we've like already started but haven't finished. Like we kind of semi redid part of our playroom, but we need to finish that up. And then obviously we're having another baby, so got to do a nursery. We started my office redo, and then we actually just ordered an alpha storage system for the office. So hopefully when that gets here, we can fix that up. So I'm just gonna fill this out with like any projects per room or any like missing pieces of furniture. Like the dining room honestly needs the most work. We're like missing so much furniture in that room, but that's okay. That can kind of be last. It's not like super important. We also have an eat-in kitchen. So yeah, so that's with that. And then I just kind of drew it as a house and did a sun. And the coloring on this is actually done with the Tombow dual brush pens. I was just kind of messing around with them. So next up I have this like crafting spread, and I like just struggled so much with what to do with this, and honestly like I'm not really sure how this is gonna work out, but so I just decided that I wanted to keep like each project have its own thing, because some things are really simple and they don't need a lot, and some things like a quilt is a little bit more complicated, so I can leave space for that. So this is the first crafting project I'm going to be working on, and that's a quilt for for the baby that I'm pregnant with now. I made one for my daughter, and she loves it, and it's so cute, and seeing her snuggle with it is so special. So I'm gonna do another one for my son, and I will like to write down what fabrics I buy and stuff. And then the other thing is like I'm constantly forgetting cut settings for different papers on Silhouette, because I feel like the default cut settings don't really always work that well. So I just made a thing and then as I cut things on Silhouette, I'm gonna fill this out so that I can look it up for next time. So any new project I start, I'll just start a thing like that, and then once it's finished, I can just close the box off. And then if I run out of space here, which I probably will, but I guess we'll see how much crafting I do once my baby's born. So if I run out of space, I'll just keep going later on, and I'll mark that back in the index by just that's over here, so that's 8, and then I could just like put comma, page, whatever there. Then this I also saw on Pinterest, and I just really loved it. I haven't read anything yet this year, but so we'll see. I'm sure I will. I tend to like not read for a while and then read like a tremendous amount of books all at once. So I'm just gonna write down the titles of the books I read, and then when I finish the shelf, I'll start a new shelf. I just thought that was super, super cute. So then this is a 2-page spread for all things about our new baby, and I really like how this turned out. The lettering's with the Tombow as well, and as is all like this blue outline stuff, we are having a little boy. So this is gonna be my hospital bag list, and I'll fill this out with all of the essentials to take to the hospital. This is like important names of number, like who do you call when you're in labor, my OB or pediatrician, any other things that we need, like babysitters for my daughter, like what are you supposed to do with your toddler when you go into labor if you don't have any family in the area. That's something we've been thinking a lot about, because it is sneaking up on us and we don't have any family in the area. So not an ideal situation for that right now, but hopefully a lovely friend will come, and hopefully I don't go into labor in like the ungodly hours of the night. And then down here is like newborn essentials. So this is, I'm started working on a checklist for things that we need to have or that I need to get ready before the baby's born. Honestly, I'm like a big believer in you barely need anything for a newborn, like a couple of diapers, a couple of outfits, a place for the kid to sleep, and a car seat. We're pretty minimalist, and like I didn't have a shower with my daughter, and I don't plan on having a shower this time, and I got so many presents like after the baby was born, and honestly, like we didn't even have a place besides the sleeper to put my daughter down when she was first born, and it was totally fine. So we were pretty minimalist when it comes to the baby stuff. Likewise, on the hospital bag list, I brought so much stuff to the hospital with my daughter, and I used like none of it. So this is going to be a super pared down, like, what do you actually need? Don't forget your hairbrush. Not a vanity thing, but if you have to brush your hair while you're in the hospital, because if you have like really thick hair, which I do, because otherwise when you get home, your hair is going to be a super tangly mess, and like my hair was. And I'm just going to write other reminder stuff there, like take off your rings before you go to the hospital, which I totally also forgot to do last time. And my husband had to keep my rings in my engagement ring and wedding ring in his pocket while I was delivering. And then my mom took it home from the hospital for us. So it was like all kinds of crazy stuff. So just make like a little checklist there. And then this is like our big ticket items, some of which we'll be buying ourselves, some of which hopefully nice people will buy us as gifts, and then just like any other things we want to get for the baby. And then this I made to keep track of all like presents, was it from our registry or not, and then like did I send the thank you. So I'm a big believer in thank you notes, so you got to keep track of all of that as well. If you're interested in seeing what this looks like, or my opinion on what you need to bring to the hospital once it's all filled out, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm happy to post that on Instagram. I definitely think it's a lot easier your second time around. You like know what you used and what you didn't. Mostly you don't use very much. But so anyway, so let me know if you want to see that, and I'd be happy to post that on my Instagram. So the last collection that I set up before the end of the year was actually a goals collection. I haven't filled this out yet. I'm still sort of thinking about it, but I also don't want this to be like New Year's resolutions, make one set of goals for the year. I want this to be like a spread that I can come back to and add more stuff on. I'm in like a very transitional period of my life, obviously. I'm about to have a baby, so a lot of these goals are going to be, I have like things I'm focusing on now, and then things that I'm gonna probably be focused on later. So I'm just gonna make this more of like a running thing throughout the year and come back and keep adding to it. But I did split it up into 4 categories: health and fitness, personal hobbies, house and family, and professional. So just trying to kind of categorize my goals, but also just want to make this like flexible, and so that I can use it for the whole year. Even though I'll be in like a really different life situation, or, well, not that different, I already have 1 kid, but a different life situation in a few months after our son is born. So that is everything that I set up before 2018, or at the beginning of the year, ahead of time. And then as you can see, the next page here is just my January cover page, which I doodled and lettered on the video for my monthly setup, which you can check out. It's linked below. Let me know what you put in your bullet journal for 2018, for what collections you really like to have that really help you out. I thought a lot about this, and I'm definitely interested in adding more collections to my bullet journal. So let me know down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd love it if you subscribed, and check me out on Instagram at mycraftyplans. Bye.